Hello everybody, this is iSmart again. My name is Samson from Sake Innovations and Technologies. So today we want to just demonstrate for you our new iSmart controller meant for smart traffic control. So the idea here is you typically have a traffic controller at an intersection, and a number of times when you need to modify or change something on the timing, you typically have to send an employee to that place to change it or bring the controller back to the office. It can be so inconvenient. Or take for example, I want to dedicate a particular lane, maybe because a governor is passing through a lane. I just want to override some things quickly. You probably have to send someone there so that once the governor is about, let's say, 5-10 minutes away, they can do the override so that the governor, or let's say maybe the ambulance, is not delayed. So what we have here allows you control over your traffic system without being physically at that intersection. The controller is designed in a way that it has an internet connectivity. It connects to a server, and you have access to a web dashboard where you can see in real time the status of your traffic system. In fact, you can override things from there. You can change your settings and all. So for a start, we're going to talk about how the system works. So the dashboard I have here is already designed in a way that I can have as much as many traffic control assets in there. So on my left sidebar here, you can see I have a controller I call Simulator, which is currently offline. I have another controller I call Demo, which is currently online. So once you've selected a controller, the first thing you'd see on the right are these things we call slots. Now, the controller uses the concept of slot and slices for control. So a slot is typically a period of time during which you want your controller to use some specific timing for a lane. Imagine a scenario where you know that this particular, maybe in the morning between the hour of, let's say, 6 and 3, traffic is typically heavy in this direction. So you want to allot more time for a lane that has heavier traffic. Then maybe in the evening when people are returning from their work, you want to swap that lane over. So what iSmart traffic controller lets you do is you can define different slots and attach a time to each slot. Like my slot 1 you have here, I can have a schedule on it that say this slot will be used between the hour of, let's say, 6 a.m. in the morning all the way to maybe 12 noon. And then I can define another slot that says this one will be happening between 12 noon and maybe 4 p.m. in the evening, on and on like that. So that's the idea of slots. So the moment you've now defined a slot, you can now define slices inside a slot. So a slice is typically a period of time during which a particular lane is passed. So what you have in here that I call time slices, so you can see I have a slice 1 here that is defined for just 10 seconds for this demo, so you can easily vary that to whatever suits you. I can set different timing for each of these slices. So here I've defined 4 slices. So, and you can add more slices by just clicking add slice on and on in here. And the moment you've defined all your slice, you will now define what lane is passed in the slice. So like here, this green you are seeing here says lane 1 is going to get passed within slice 1, meaning lane 1 will be passed for 20 seconds. So while I'm passing lane 1, I'm going to stop lane 2, lane 3 and lane 4 until slice 1 is completed. So imagine a scenario where I want to pass lane 1 and lane 2 at the same time. I simply click in here and lane 2 goes green too. So I'm saying lane 1 and lane 2 are going to be passed during slice 1. Then lane 2 will still be passed during slice 2 while lane 1 goes to red. So this is a very flexible system depending on how your intersection is actually designed. So you can neatly define how you want your lane to be passed. So once this is done, it's as simple as clicking the update button I have here, and that setting is sent to the controller. So the controller will be effecting that. So that's the idea of slices within a slot. So I can also define a particular time interval for this slot by saying, oh, this slot should be used, maybe I want this slot happening from 6 in the morning, so that's 6 till say I want it stopped at maybe 12 noon. So now I'm saying this slot will apply between 6, and once I update, that setting is sent to the device. Then you can also define the days of the week that a particular slot will be used. Maybe because, I mean, for example, weekday traffic can be heavier in some direction, but maybe in the weekend, when we don't have too much vehicle around, we typically want to use a different time. So I can say this slot will be used only on Saturday and Sunday, for example. So that means what I've designed here will only apply on Saturday and Sunday. So you have as many slots as 16 in here that allows you to just, I mean, based on your initiative, you can design how you want your traffic to be managed. And all this is, I mean, my system can be as far away as hundreds of kilometers away from where I have my system, because everything is connected online. I can control. Then I also want to talk about the idea of override. Now imagine this system is already set up, and I now have maybe an emergency, perhaps an ambulance that needs to pass through this intersection. And because I know the ambulance is about 2 minutes away, I want to stop every other traffic for that ambulance. So I can quickly come to my dashboard and stop everything. So I can switch this to stop. So the moment I click on this, you see this guy goes stop, this guy goes stop. Once I click on the stop, then this one I want to pass, I click green on it. So the system is going to remain like this for the next 40 seconds. It's not going to switch any other lane. So this lane will simply be flowing until I come back and I say I want to, if I click it again, for example, that 40 seconds is restarted, click it again, the 40 seconds is restarted. So once I don't operate the override any longer, after 40 second timeout, the system will resume its slot design. So this is good for, I mean, what I just did here is something I would have to send someone to an intersection for them to actually perhaps operate the override button on some controller. But with this new controller, you do not have to do that. Just sit by on your phone, on your system, and control all your traffic and its emergency. So that is that for this part. So the controller in question is in here. So this is the controller in question. So it actually comes in this box. So we moved it out just for the purpose of this demonstration. So as it is, it's got a built-in, it's got a SIM card inserted into it that allows it to connect to the internet, as well as connect to my web dashboard where you can monitor and control things. So all these are designed by Seki.